In this episode, we go to the Mexican jungle. About a 5-hour drive northeast of Querétaro, you'll find the Sierra Gorda Reserve, which is filled with beautiful hills, mountains, waterfalls, and more. Throughout this 5-hour drive, you'll see the environment slowly turn from a desertic, arid region to a more humid and forested place. After driving through these roads carved on the side of mountains, we reach our first destination, Las Pozas in Xilita. Las Pozas is best described as a surrealistic painting turned reality. Created by the artist Edward James, who built this garden over the last 4 decades of his life, it was only in 1991, 7 years after his death, that the park was open to the public. Walking through these sculptures makes you feel like an archaeologist, discovering the remains of an ancient civilization. Although you're allowed to walk around and climb certain structures in this park, some sections are closed off. This is due to the high humidity of the jungle that has deteriorated the concrete over the last few years. At the very end of the park, you'll find a waterfall sourcing pools with crystal clear water that usually you can swim in. Sadly, these pools were closed off when we went to visit due to recent rainfall. And of course, being in the jungle, you'll find lots of wildlife.
Oh my god! Ah!
You'll see especially a lot of spiders. If you are not careful, you might just walk into one of these huge spider webs. I would not recommend this park to any arachnophobe. Also, plant life is very diverse. You'll find anything from bananas to bamboos and many tropical plants. After spending all afternoon in Las Pozas, we were able to outrun the sudden rain and reward ourselves with a nice meal, before going to our next stop, the little town of Concá, where we stayed at a hotel that historically used to be part of the Franciscan mission, which were tasked to spread the Catholic religion into these remote areas in the 18th century. In this hotel, they give the possibility to experience the ancient tradition of the Temazcal. Literally translating to the house of sweat, was used by the pre-Hispanic indigenous peoples for medicinal purposes and to rest the body after a battle or a hard game of pelota. In this circular structure, you'll find a pit with smoldering rocks that had been previously covered in aromatic herbs. Over these rocks, water is poured periodically, humidifying the air tremendously and increasing the sensation of the heat. Once you've had enough of the heat, you take a quick cold shower and a nice dip into the pool, and you rinse and repeat as often as you'd like. To finish it off, you cover your body in a thick layer of clay and let it dry to exfoliate your skin. Once the clay dry, you rinse it off in a quick shower and a jump into the pool, after which your skin is left as smooth as silk. After the Temazcal, we visited the town center of Concá, where the beautiful church of the mission stands. As well as this 1,000-year-old tree. Even though it had been recently vandalized by a fire in its center, it still stood strong. The secret to this tree's longevity lies in the fact that it lies just above a water source, which is in itself inhabited by many tiny fish. And thus we took the road home again, but not without first stopping by one of the largest monoliths in the world, the Peña de Bernal, who was conveniently on our way, and with which we concluded a good weekend trip.
¡Qué bueno!